So I'm just gonna first I uh, want to apologize to you for I know I tried to send things in the beginning of the week. I don't know. I Katie sent me an email describing the like maybe I did a step wrong, but I'll try it again this following week. So I had a link in the email to a New York Times article, and I think a lot of people were able to open that link, but I know that some of you weren't. And then I had a photo attached, and clearly that didn't go through. I get the email also. It's part of, and so when I opened it, I was like, ah. But I do appreciate you guys reaching out to me. And I hope I answered everybody I tried to send you the photo that I was trying to send. So I was able to, so feel free and comfortable to reach out to me one-on-one. And I do also really appreciate a lot of you showed me the work that you were, finished up or working on. And, I genuinely love that. So I want you to feel comfortable to reach out to me and any questions. I got some, help. What should I do and all that stuff. And, that's, definitely encouraged. I don't ever want you to feel like lost or in any kind of, there shouldn't, no stress, right? Right, Sharon? No stress. so, um, um, so, all right. So thanks to Cheryl. I just saw that you signed on, Cheryl Slitsky. You sent that article, and yeah, I have it here, and I'm just gonna read a little bit of it. Let me try to make it a little bigger. Well, I'll do my best. It says, find an old receipt in your wallet, feel that thin paper in your fingers, and look at the inky machine type. Why is it telling you to have a nice day? Did you? Instead of throwing the receipt away, draw it. It's not only a marker of money spent or a replacement of the cash that was once in its place, but of a real moment. I'm going to skip here. When you draw things like a receipt or a mug or a tchotchke or a family photo, you're not only drawing an object, you're memorializing the story behind it. The drawing itself is a moment, time spent with the object that you've chosen, a chance to consider its story. You can spend time with your objects in different ways by drawing them carefully or mindlessly with a pencil, a pen, or watercolor. And once you've picked this object, how do you start drawing? There are a few ways. You can pick your favorite pen or, as you picked your favorite object. But really, it's about finding something that feels good to you and having a desire to document your life. Now, what was so great about this article, Cheryl, I don't even know if you realize it, I was planning on doing this lesson, and this just kind of bridged it all together. So years ago, well, clearly years ago, because I was in college, one of my projects was to draw one thing 4 different ways in 4 different styles. And it kind of forced me to consider, and I wish I still had it. I think there's one of them in the attic, but I know that one of them, I know I drew a lionfish, and I know that one of them was in pointillism in the dots, and another one was all mechanical. I had to use all mechanical tools for it. Another one was abstract, and for the life of me, I can't remember the 4th. But I really like this concept, and that was definitely in my plan. But to kind of combine it with this article about choosing something that kind of holds a story to you, why we're holding on to it. I don't know if you guys can see, I have this softball here. I look at a softball and it floods me with memories of my daughter. And, it was definitely a passion of hers when she was, all growing up, all through high school. It's now ended in college, but I would bet she'll pick it up. But the example photo I tried to send you, and I know I sent a few of you. Let me see if I can share my screen.
I have it.
Yeah, I have it here. So can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So this isn't my art. This is really just a collection of my ideas. So this first one obviously is a pencil drawing of an apple. The second being a collage. The third, this one, if you're going in this counting this way, this one being pointillism, and this one being considered a little bit more abstract. I'd love for you to consider like an object that means something to you. And this is also something that you can work on during the week, because I do know that, according to, I hear back from a lot of you, I know that you guys continue to work on stuff. So now I do try to think of things that you could take with you and work on during the week, because I don't think we're going to cover 4 different pieces of art. Let me stop sharing here. So, I was just telling earlier, so you can work, think about the different ways that you want to work. You can work on one piece of paper at a time. And if you're happy with it, then you can mount them together, or you could take a piece of paper, divide it in 4 and draw in 4 different sections. Personally, I would do one at a time, because if I'm really happy with one and then I'm not happy with another, now they're forever next to each other. And so, so that's just, the way I would work, but, I'm not going to tell you guys how to work. As I'm looking at my softball, I know like today we'll do just a pencil drawing. I'll talk about shading. We'll talk about getting some dimension. And then maybe if I have some time, maybe I'll go into something like a little bit more mechanical, maybe using a little bit of graphic or some Zentangle is an idea, watercolor is an idea, collage is an idea. So, so think, like, look around your room, look and see what you have around you. What kind of story does something have? Why do you have it? Instead of getting rid of, something basic, why are we holding on to something? And we're going to memorialize it, just like the article says, and we're going to put it in 4 different ways. I know that there's collage artists in this room. I think that's a great way to, also get something, and you don't need special collage paper. You can use, circulars that you get in the mail, as long as you get your highlights and your lowlights, is what we're going to be talking about now. So, so before I start to draw, does anybody have any comments, questions, or anything? Just take yourself off mute and talk to me. Dottie?
You mentioned a photograph. Can you use a photograph with this or not?
Sure.
Yeah.
You know me, Dottie, I'm never going to say you can't use something, right? So, I take my words and interpret them your way. I'm really just here to to guide you, and however you're inspired to work with something, that's up to you. Yeah, a photograph, I don't see why not, so, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. And anybody else? And just talk if you have questions. No. Mm-hmm. All right. So then I'm going to spotlight my page here. Okay. So as you can see, I have a softball, because I'm working in my daughter's room. So looking around here, there's so many things that I can pick, but this one actually has meaning to both me and her. I first went and grabbed this from downstairs because I collect ruby glass, and I think the only story behind it is I love the color. So I don't know if I have much of a story behind it, but I do have a collection, a pretty big collection of the red ruby glass. But so I changed my mind. And then this also we can talk about drawing a sphere, and we can talk about shading and things like that. So that's why I changed from here. I'm going to start with a very basic pencil. This is an HB is the same as like a regular number 2 pencil, because I'm going to lightly sketch. And now I just want to, before I start, I just want to tell you, so my screen is what you're seeing is my own paper and the ball, and you can see in the computer. That's what I'm seeing. So if you need me, please just call out, and or if you have a question as I'm going along, please just take yourself off mute and just talk to me, because I don't even really check the chat as much as I can, because I don't look up as much. So all right. So again, I really think that I'm going to take 4 pages and do this 4 different ways. But of course, I'm going to start with mine with a circle. Maybe I should use a darker pencil so you guys can see. Okay, can you guys see that? Yeah, that's visible enough. As I'm looking at this, you can see that and you kind of squint and you see where there are lights and where there are darks. These things that you're going to kind of block out you'll use them in every single method that you choose to draw this object in. So right away, like the first thing I notice is this highlight in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I'm going, and to me, it's very circular. So I'm going to get this here. I'm also going to block in the side. I'm not even going to draw, well, maybe I should draw the laces, but actually I could do that. The shadow comes across here. Right. So clearly my light's coming from above, which is then casting the shadow down in here. To prevent this from rolling off the table, I have a little bit of tape underneath, so that's why it's staying. So right now, I'm just blocking this in. There's no magic to this. I'm just kind of blocking this in. And from here, I'll just start a little bit of, work outside. Right? Really just block, nothing special that I'm doing here, just kind of blocking this in. Maybe I'll get some laces. It's not as easy to draw, when you know that people are watching you. So there's definitely a level of intimidation, but I hope you guys, we're all friends here.
No judging.
Yeah. That's really the hard part about, teaching virtually, is that, kind of always have to be on your game, or feel like you do. But I'm okay with it. I'm going to erase this line. So I'm fully aware that this is a little wonky and it's not like, quote, perfect, which, anyone who knows me knows that, I don't stay away from that word. So there's no such thing. And I'll fix it as I go along. I'm going to go a little darker in my pencil. I'm going to pick a 4B because now I want to start incorporating shading. So this kind of, last week we talked a little bit about, contour lines. So we got our contour lines in there because we're drawing around the edges. And now we're filling in because we talked about that last week also. Some people kind of struggled with the concept of kind of keeping it flat and filling and not filling, being able to fill in. And so this is your answer to that. And those of you who are new to drawing and didn't come to the class in the summer, I just want to say, when you use pencil, and the reason why there's different softnesses of pencils is, to get your grays, it's called a grayscale. So you would have a lighter, and a good black and white drawing, has every value of gray in it. So I remember in college just spending 6 hours just working on grayscales, just this, going really, really light, and like that, and then going darker, darker, darker. So it does take some time. I know I spoke about the blending stick, which I can't find mine right now. So I'm going to use my finger. Fingers work just as well. That's starting to have a little depth to it. So if you have a complicated piece, that has a lot of more angles, and you might have to play with your contour drawing a little bit more. Let's get my shadow down. My darkest point is going to be where it hits the ground. I should go to my music. And if you notice, I guess because of my lighting, you notice that like I have shadows within my shadows, you know, or it's definitely because of my lighting, because I have a lamp here, and then there's also an overhead light here. So this is creating a double shadow. So if you can notice that there's a darker space here and a lighter one here. So again, so if you just take it and break it down into shapes, instead of looking at this like a softball, you know, just, you know, looking at that there's a shape here, and there's a shape here. As I said, there's that shape on top. This is casting in a shape that I'm doing now. Not, again, the laces will be something that I will put in at the end.
Nancy, this is
Yeah.
Camille.
Hi, Camille.
In doing a shadow, how do you always go in the same direction with your pencil?
I do, because I feel like this is, because this is being cast in this direction, I'm going in this direction. If this were being cast in this direction, I would go in that direction. So that's a good question.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times, and I really do appreciate these kind of questions, because you have to understand a lot of these things are instinctual after a while, and so I don't think of explaining them, you know. So I really do appreciate that question. So yeah, so I'm going in the direction of the shadow when I draw. Right. Anybody else have any questions while I'm looking up? It's a good way to spend a rainy morning. It's starting to rain. I see that is there a Jeanette in the room? I see that there's somebody saying that they weren't able to get in class. I was wondering if she did. Jeanette, no? All right, let me just email her the link. I'm very tech savvy. Between I have my phone here and my laptop here, and then my iPad here. I didn't even think about this. I'm back. I was curious as I'm drawing and just to get a little conversation going. So different ways to draw this one object. Do you guys have any other ideas other than like what? Collage. Watercolor. You know, a lot of you guys are take the watercolor class also, so that's.
Abstract.
Yeah, abstract is actually for me. I'm kind of struggling with how I would make a softball abstract, but you know, so the fact that I'm struggling with it, you know, I'll definitely have to try it because I want to challenge myself. So, Cubism, how fun! Well, that's a great idea to break that down into almost like pixels. Yeah, so did anybody ever do pointillism? I know, Beth, you sent me some things, but anybody ever do the dots, pointillism? Any of my, that's definitely a challenge.
I've done it before, and I'm not going to do it for this one.
No.
Unless I had really big dots, like bingo doppers.
That's funny. That you could do that. That's very Liechtenstein, right? You could do something.
Yes, yes.
But you
Especially
know,
now with arthritis. No.
right? Yeah. So that doesn't help with it's the little and yeah. And when I do this with the kids, I let them use Crayola markers so that at least they have bigger dots that they can, or bigger markers that they can make dots of. And they truly hate me for it, but at the end they're happy with what they came up with because it's cool. And
well, it's nice. It has a whole different way of looking at things.
yes.
But yeah, it's painful. How about pastels?
Oh, pastels is a nice idea to get this all blended. If you have some pastels, oil pastels or regular pastels would be a great option. I really do like the collage elements, especially, if you can, that almost can incorporate two parts of this because you can collage with something that's meaningful that you don't necessarily need to have around, but you don't necessarily want to throw it away. So you can collage with something. Collage with a bill that you paid off and you're happy with it or something like that.
Nancy?
Yeah.
You do a collage with a husband or ex-husband?
That's funny. You can, no rules, right?
Nancy?
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe you could do on another one, do some like idea bubbles, thought bubbles trailing down to the bottom of the page, and inside the orb, do a scene that's something reminiscent of your daughter, like at bat or playing her position, or a distant, simple memory.
You could totally do something like that, or add words, or even just words. Even if I just wrote like catcher or Glenridge softball or that kind of thing. She was on a club team. I could write whatever, Avalanche or whatever it was called. So you're right, to make it personal, and I love, collaborating with ideas like this is what it's all about. So, so Marilyn, you have something in the chat. You find oil pastels.
Yeah, I found using oil pastel, you really can't smear it. They're more like a crayon.
It depends on the brand you're using.
Okay.
So some of them are a little bit more moist that you can blend. So I can go over that with you. Do I have them here? Personally, I don't. Again, back to trust me, Crayola doesn't pay me for their, but I actually, I'm okay with Crayola oil pastels, but they're not what I'm thinking of. There's I think it's called Sephora.
This is by Bright Minds by Nicole. I know it was a gift from somebody.
Yeah. You know what, Meryl? Because I can share with you what I have, and you could try it, and if you like it, then you could buy it. So we could do something like that.
Okay.
What about cray pas?
Cray pas and oil pastels are basically the same. Cray pas is the child's. It's like blending the word of crayon and pastel. So adults usually don't use the word craypa. You usually do that for the kids. So, but they're technically the same thing. It's an oil-based pastel. And for my anybody who paints in the room, like if any of you guys have any kind of medium, like a thinner, like a terpenoid or linseed oil, you can go into oil pastel and with the terpenoid and turn it into a painting. It's kind of another to soften it. So I've done that before, and I can have some decent results. So. All right, let me go back to this.
Speaking about kids, I had another technique idea, making it into like a cartoon for a coloring book.
Oh, how cute. Yeah, so to be a little bit more graphic.
Yeah.
So what object are you working on, Sue?
I have a bowl.
Okay.
That's was my grandmother's.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking with the collage one, I also have a recipe of hers that was passed down. I was thinking of maybe collaging a copy of the recipe.
What a great idea. Right? And that kind of like, that ties the whole thing together. That's such a, that's such a nice idea. And again, the fact that we're sharing this, I'm sure can inspire somebody else that, how you can tie into things. And if you don't want to use something that you already have, like, rip up paper, you can always, that's a great idea to make a copy of it, I like that. I can make all her like awards and stuff. I can make copies of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have like, again, I'm in her room, so I have like this is all her, whatever they made for her. That's a great photocopy. I can collage with that. So, when she was a captain and all that stuff.
You might be working on her Christmas gift. If you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah.
Yeah. She's so funny because I don't know, although like the fact that she doesn't play anymore, it might actually just like make her sad. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with that. I'll keep it as my
Understood.
She's going to be 21 next week. She's still moody. One day she won't be.
I'm 63. When will I stop being moody?
Okay. Oh, Jeanette, there you are.
So much. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry because I wasn't checking my email as I was teaching, so I'm sorry that but better late than never, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you can just pencil, piece of paper, and an object that has memory for you, something that can tell a story. I'm working on this softball, and you know, it brings back a lot of memories because my daughter was such a big softball player when she was in grade school and all through high school and all that stuff. And so this is something that's special to me. I think did I send you the picture personally? Yeah, I did, right? Of the 4. So we're going to work on the one image 4 different ways. You know, and so I'm going to make this softball. I'm going to do it another way. We were talking about possibly, we were just brainstorming some different ideas, possibly collage, Zentangle, you know, guys know that that's near and dear to my heart. Pastel drawing, oil pastel, watercolor. You know, so you're going to do one object in 4 different. Cubism was a great idea. Abstract is a great idea. So do you have something special in mind? One object that tells a story for you?
I do. I have an opus stuffed animal.
Okay.
I'll show it to you. It's right here.
That's great. Oh, I know him. Okay.
Isn't he cute?
Yeah, that's great. That'll be a lot of fun to definitely play around with.
It's gonna be tricky,
Hey,
I think.
Cheryl, I just wanted to say that I'm sketching something here along with you, not a softball, but I'm sitting next to these 2 shelves in my basement where I have some stuff that I really don't pay any attention to anymore. And so I looked up and I said, oh, I'll just grab that. And so now I'm sitting here with this little wooden bank.
Mhm.
It's in the shape of an old Japanese house.
Okay.
And it belonged to one of my sons. I can't remember which one. It's got to be at least more than 25 years old. So it's been forgotten.
Yeah.
And now as I'm sitting here with it and I'm sketching it along with you sketching the softball, all of this stuff is coming flooding back.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. You know, so I think that's, you know, again, this was a really great collaboration between me and you here. So, because
No, I sent it. Karen, who's doing watercolor, Karen DeLuca,
mhm.
she had sent it like to me, and I said, well, I sent it to Nancy.
Oh, okay.
Sent it to our class, and then she started doing one for herself, which was basically like a mug with a bunch of her paintbrushes and other pieces of stuff. So anyway.
Oh, so this is all tying in, like your whole art experience is around stuff around your house.
Right.
Which is great. You know, this is, you know, especially the fact that we're in our homes most of these times. You might as well, you know, have a relationship with the things inside your home. So, yeah, that's great. And actually, I saw that, right, Marilyn, you had the painting of the of a dish, a glass dish inside your home that you said that was from your watercolor class. I saw that. I'm gonna make this bigger. So Jeanette, right now we're working, I'm sorry, we're working just in pencil. I don't know if anybody else is working in a different medium, but I'm just talking about shading. You know, I have the softball that's, you know, well lit. So this way I have a shadow cast, and I'm just breaking it kind of down to shapes, and I'm shading. One idea that I would probably work with, only because I know myself, is I would do 4 different objects on 4 different pieces of paper. And when you're happy with all 4, then you can mount them together as a, it's called like a poly tick or something. Maybe one of you guys can correct me. So yeah, 4 different together. And so right now I'm just doing the pencil part. And this is also, you know, I encourage you guys to work on this during the week. We might even go into next week with this if you're okay with that, because again, this is 4 different pieces of art. I don't know if we're gonna.
I'd like that.
Yeah, because I personally don't think I can finish 4 pieces of art in a week, with my schedule. But so yeah, we can do that. And this is, I said this last week also, but this is your art class, so please, if there's something that you want me to incorporate or do, or I'm flexible.
Nancy,
Yeah.
this is Camille again. Do we want a minimal background so that there's some perspective?
I wasn't even thinking of a background. I think that would be your choice. I mean, like if I put a horizon line on mine,
Right.
to get something that it's on the table, that's where mine is. Right? So now it grounded it a little bit. I don't think I would put a background on the pencil one, but maybe on a person. I'm just talking for myself.
Right.
If I were doing the others, I might like the apples had the collage with the apples had the background color as like a newspaper print.
Right.
Yeah. So you could play around with the background. I like the idea of you might want to ground it with a horizon line. So that's once again a really good question, because then you got me to think about where.
Nancy,
Yeah.
if there's an interest in pointillism, I don't know, I would love to see. I know you did it in your last drawing class, one of the sessions. Is there a way we could do that if
Sure.
other people are interested in that?
Yeah. Do I have it? Let me see something. What was I drawing last time with pointillism?
I think it was a ball. Was it a ball?
Or an apple?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna look, because this is the book that I work with this group. Let's see my grid drawings.
Isn't it just shapes?
Did we just do shapes?
A square and a ball and a cone?
Oh
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks. Who was that, Beth?
Beth.
Yeah. I recognize your voice. Right, it was a worksheet. So I probably don't have it here. So my advice, if you want to do pointillism, and it's definitely something that I'm happy to work with, and it's very, very similar to what we're doing here in terms of like finding where your darker spaces are. That's where you would be more dense with your dots, and then lightening up your dots as you got into your highlights. If you have any kind of like, I don't know, if your hands cramp up or anything like that, you would just work with a Crayola, like something thicker, and make your dots bigger. Which is probably what I'll use. I'll do that next week. I did an alpaca. I'm going to show you. This is a shameless plug. So a lot of you guys already know my artwork, but I do pointillism every once in a while, and I incorporated it into like more of my patterns. But I did a alpaca all pointillism. That took me a long time.
Wow.
But I will show you. And again, those of you who don't know my art, I am an animal artist. I'm drawn to patterns or painting with acrylic paint or watercolor. Where's my alpaca? Here it is. Okay. So So here's my alpaca. You
Oh.
can see he's
That's
it's all dots. Can you see?
Wow.
That's crazy.
So
Insane.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Do you, when you do that, do you first outline it?
No. Well, you could outline it in dots. I'm pretty sure. Well, knowing me, and whenever I do something with a face, I'm pretty sure I started with the eyes.
How long did that take?
Probably a couple days. You know, once I'm working on something.
That's all?
Yeah, but that's all dots. That's all. So there was an alpaca ranch up in Hackettstown. Did anybody ever go there? You guys know about it? It
I know
closed
somebody that worked there.
at Highland something.
I'm not sure what the name of it was, but they were young kids and they said the alpacas kept spitting at them.
Oh, really? We used to go there just to kind of bond with the alpacas. And I mean, it was such a beautiful, I never had one that's spit. Like they all just kind of came up and just like snuggled on your arm and stuff, like the friendlier ones, and the ones that didn't want to deal with you didn't. But with such a special, they're so gentle, they're so cute. But they closed. They sold all their alpacas and they closed their ranch. We were like, wouldn't it be great to buy that ranch? So my husband and I'm like, oh, we can make this a big art studio. Like,
We'll come visit you.
yeah, I can think the alpaca arts. So, it didn't happen. No. I really should get cracking on it.
Unmute. This is Lauren.
Lauren.
I'm completely new to drawing. Never drawn anything.
Okay.
And I chose a rather a filigreed family menorah.
Okay.
And I'm just working on making it look something like what I'm drawing. And since I've never tried to do anything to scale or to look right, it's very rewarding. But I don't know that I'll do it for my project.
Do you mind sharing, Lauren? Can I see? Or if you're not comfortable with that, okay. Wait, let me just cancel my spotlight here and turn on.
First, I'll show you what I'm drawing.
Okay. So.
Oh,
beautiful.
And it's not valuable. It was very common on the Lower East Side.
Okay.
For wedding presents.
Nice.
And this is my drawing so far.
You know what?
I keep erasing it, but it's very rewarding because I've never looked at it in order to do it with perspective on scale.
Right. Well, you got it. You know, again, the relationship between the three candle holder part, you have that right. So I'm glad that you're spending time just looking at it, you know, and that's great. And for a first timer, bravo. I think that's really impressive. I'm sure that the other people will agree in the room.
Absolutely.
So I don't think I can conceive of it yet in 4 different ways. I'll try one different way.
All right. So another idea that I just thought of, because, you know, again, might take out the intimidation for you, is if you take your original drawing, even if you cut it out and create a stencil to do it 4 different, and then do, you know, maybe one of them put a little paint in it, another one, you know, try to collage into it a little bit. That it's just a thought, you know.
Okay.
So
another thing while I'm speaking is my mother, really late in life, became an artist, and she did mainly pointillism, which I could show you.
Yeah, that would be, if you want to email it to me, or if you, I don't know if you have it next to you and you want to show.
Okay, I will email it to you. I have actually, she had photographs taken, and that would be a good thing to for you to have.
yeah, I think a lot of us can relate to, doing art a little bit later in life, so that's great. I would love to see. Yeah.
Thank
So,
you. Okay.
yeah. Does anybody else want to share what they've been working on while I'm off spotlight?
I can.
I'm gonna unspotlight.
I would share, Nancy, this is Dottie.
Hi, Dottie.
I would share because I don't know, I'm trying to do a photo in a frame. So I'll put it up here. Is this, yeah, there we go.
Ah. Uh-huh.
So now, is that kind of, am I on the right track here, or
Yeah.
should I,
I don't see why you wouldn't be on a right track there. It totally looks like a photo in a frame.
Yeah,
And,
okay. Go on.
and yeah, why not?
Then the next ones, they don't have to be so exact, right? I mean,
No.
in fact, they shouldn't be, right? I mean, they should
Yep.
be a little more creative. Right, okay.
Whatever you think.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Share.
the next ones can definitely. So I saw a hand up. Whose was that? Sue? Hi, Sue. Spotlight. Look at that bowl. That looks great.
Ah.
Now that's all pencil?
Yes.
Okay. Because you actually have on the beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And you have such a softness with your shading that it kind of looks watercolory.
Well, that's my main media.
Okay, yeah. No, that's can you guys agree with me on that? Did you see what I saw? Like, did you notice? Yeah. Anybody else? Cheryl, are you sharing? Cheryl, Beth, I'll get you next. I see your hand.
I can share something.
And that's
Wow.
look at that. And that's the house.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
A lot of work done.
Yeah.
Is it a
Where'd
bank?
you
Did you say it? Well, you did say it was a bank. It's a bank. Yeah, she has her. You're muted.
Nancy?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a piggy bank. It's a coin bank, and the slot is in the roof.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And it's an old, I think what it is a Japanese sake factory.
Okay.
And it's a little bank.
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad that you're working on that. I think that's very special. So I said, so Beth, I had you next.
I can show mine.
Okay, I got Beth. Well, then I want 1 second. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So Beth, there's your teapot. Are you muted?
No, this is a Brown Betty teapot from my mother. I got it when I went up after she died, and the only time we ever got it was when we were sick in bed, and she'd bring up the tea in our own little teapot.
Oh.
So I hated tea, but loved getting my own little teapot. This is where
Oh, you're working little. Okay.
little. It goes faster, and I cut out for the collage thing from a tea box.
Oh, that's
Very sweet.
That's great. Thank you, Beth. I love that. And I love the story behind it. Now, who was talking to me? I'm sorry.
And Beth, I like the picture you did on the top too. That was from last week, right?
So that was last week's, yes.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
All right, Linda, I got you.
Yeah, I have to go now because look at what I have.
I also have a teapot.
Fancy.
What's your story behind it?
This is a teapot that was given to me by a friend who passed away a few years ago from Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
And it's totally her because she was a perfect, graceful person. And it just reminds me of her because it's delicate.
Right. That's a special memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I can't wait to see all your renditions of it. So let me take you off spotlight.
Can I show you mine and ask for some advice?
Doris? Yeah.
This is Doris, yeah. So this is what I'm drawing.
It's a
salt little jar, but I have trouble with the shading, I'm not sure where the shading is. I'm very new to this.
Okay.
And I have trouble seeing where I should darken it, and I just don't see it very well.
Okay. Well, I personally, I think that your shading is pretty spot on. The only thing is I would do a little bit more on the bottom and to ground it, you know, because if your light source is coming from the top, your shadow will be on the bottom. So you can make it heavier, more heavy shaded on the bottom.
Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure, can you guys agree with me? I'm pretty sure you did, for somebody new with that, I think you did a really good job shading.
Thanks.
So anybody else we have like a couple minutes left. Robin?
Yeah, I actually did this during the week. I took your app. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I took your apples.
Okay.
And I put them in a bowl.
Oh,
Oh, I love that.
look at you.
That's very nice.
And
love the colors.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's not my creation, it's Nancy's.
Well, it's not. It's really just, I just kind of pulled them together. But
yeah, I cut them out and I tried to get them in a bowl, but that's what came out. Today I'm just doing, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. So
is that what you got done today?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm fast.
You are, yeah. I mean,
I'm sloppy and fast.
Yeah, I don't see sloppy, but I see fast. Do baseballs or softballs have anything to do? That's your memories too? Okay.
My husband and my grandkids and everybody is into baseballs. So I picked that up before I actually saw yours.
Oh, fun. Okay.
This is going to be watercolor. I don't have water with me right now.
So yeah, and so you're going to recreate that 4 different ways, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I wanted to try the pointillism.
Yeah. Yeah, let's try it.
I would love to see, an example of that, but.
Okay. I can also email, we could talk via email also.
Thank you.
Sure. Is it, Pat, you have your hand up, or are you just fixing your hair? No. So, is there anybody else that wants to talk to me?
Nancy, will you be demonstrating pointillism next week?
I will. Yeah. Sure. I could do that. I'll have a variety of different, I don't want you to feel that all pointillism has to be very, very tiny. You could do it even with the watercolor paint, and a fine brush. Those of you who have watercolor, we can do that. So Alicia, where do you go to get the recording? Who said it? It was on YouTube?
YouTube.
Yeah. You know what? And I think I can send the link. I'll figure that out. How to send the link to, because I have to practice how to sending a group email anyway, so I'll do that. So, sure.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In watercolor, if you want a light area or white area, you put down like masking fluid to keep that from getting messy. Or you lift it with a really thin brush. Is there any way to kind of remove thin or small areas with pencil? Is there an eraser or technique that I'm not aware of?
Well, I use, this is a soap eraser that seems to be working really well. Like if I wanted to make a line.
What type again?
This is a soap eraser.
Soap, S-O-A-P?
S-O-A-P, yep. But I'm a big fan of the kneaded eraser, the squishy kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that you can get really, really fine, and you can get into a point and you can erase. A lot of times when I'm drawing in pencil, you kind of find out where your light part is, and then draw around it. So to keep your whites white, and so you can control it more than you can with a watercolor, a pencil. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Sure. So anyway, so it's 11, and this went quickly. Before I go, anybody else have anything to talk to me about? Or again, I want you guys to feel free to reach out to me on email, and I will attempt again. Now I got some new instructions on how to do send photos, so I'll try that again, and we'll keep working on this. So, all right.
Thank you, Nancy.
All right. Well, enjoy your weekend.
Nancy.
All right.
Thank you, Nancy.